was the theme to the classic sitcom The Flintstones, because today is the 55th anniversary of their TV debut.
That's awesome. Wow.
It's kind of wonderful.
55 years.
That's
amazing.
We sang that song on our pilot episode of Full House. I know I talk about Full House all the time, but that's what I think of with that song.
Ah.
Sing it. Yeah.
Well, see, when I was a kid, we were invited to try to name the baby that Wilma was having.
Oh,
they had
really?
a contest. And so people from around the world sent in all kinds of names to name that baby, and that's how she got named Pebble.
That's so funny.
Really?
If it wasn't for their vitamins, I would be very tiny. It's very true. The Flintstone vitamins made me the woman I am today.
I love it. I love it. Now, you know, before we start, I noticed a man bun behind me.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I just wanted to say hey, because we had a whole discussion about man buns, and you are pulling it off. You look good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the bombshell hot topic that people are talking about right now is how Kim Davis is saying that she had a secret meeting with Pope Francis during his U.S. trip. You interviewed her last week. What's the deal?
Yeah, we interviewed her last week in her Kentucky home, and we were told at that time that the Pope had invited her to meet with him in D.C. on Thursday, and they really wanted to keep it under wraps, and now the Vatican is saying we don't deny it took place, but we're just not going to really divulge exactly anything that happened. But we spoke to Kim Davis last night, and she says that the Pope told her to stay strong. Take a look.
It was really very humbling to even think that he would want to, you know, meet me or know me. I put my hand out, and he reached and he grabbed it, and I hugged him, and he hugged me, and he said, "Thank you for your courage." Just knowing that the Pope is on track, you know, with what we're doing and agreeing, you know, kind of validates everything.
And, you know, they kept this under wraps. Apparently, there were pictures that were taken. When this started to leak last night, they really started to get a lot of backlash. The Vatican did. And this morning released a statement that said we can't confirm or deny. And then they changed that statement to say we can't deny that, we're not denying that anything happened, but it did happen.
The Pope has the best publicist I've ever seen in my life. Like, he is everywhere and in everybody's situation. Thank you, Pope. Appreciate it. Wow.
Here's my problem with it. When he was here last Friday and we left the studio, he came, he hung out in my dressing room.
You and Francis are like
can't deny it, Paula. I'm sorry. No. When he came to Central Park last Friday, and we left the studio, my parents were here. The streets were lined with people in wheelchairs, young people, old people, handicapped people, who just wanted a glimpse of this great man.
Yeah.
Why he would take 15 minutes out of his time here in America to meet with her bothers me. And when I first heard it, I didn't believe it, because I couldn't imagine that he would meet with her.
People want to see the photos, and there are photos.
Yeah, this is what I find kind of ironic, is that everyone thinks like, oh, this Pope is so cool. He's like the rock star Pope, and even people that aren't religious or liberal people are going like, oh, I like this Pope. The second he gets behind Kim Davis, people are like, whoa, what's the matter with this Pope?
No,
I think that's what it is. I think people have, you know, there were a whole bunch of nuns that he was going to meet with also, that he didn't meet with. And I think what people are saying, I believe, is that, you know, we had a million eyes on that residence. This bitch slipped in there, and nobody saw her.
Was she in a nun costume?
He met with sexually abused victims, like.
Yes, but we're
all out Kim Davis and call her names like that is unfair.
No, you know, oh my God, you know what?
Bring it closer. Bring it closer.
Let me apologize, Kim. I call everybody a bitch. Everybody at the table here, it's what I do.
We bitches.
I do. So this was not about her being. It was humor. My bad. The fact that she was able to slip in
and slip out undetected.
and slip out, that nobody saw it, not a camera guy, because they had cameras up the yin-yang at that residence, is my point.
And you know, her legal team released a photo, by the way, I think it was on Monday, claiming that 100,000 people in Peru were all praying for Kim, and it was a picture. It turns out that photo was from 2014 from a convention called Jesus Loves You and Changes You. Had nothing to do with Kim Davis, and they said, oh, well, people in Peru, they're still praying for her. Like, what? Do people in Peru know about her? So they've already lied. That's my point.
It's a wonderful thing if he did meet with her.
He did.
I think people are skeptical. That's
People
all.
are skeptical, and I think, too, he may have been misled by local bishops as to what the possible political ramifications could be, which is why they're kind of backtracking.
I don't think there's any political ramifications. I simply think that people have a hard time.
He's polarizing now, though.
Giving, well, I think people have a hard time when there were a whole set of nuns that we talked about in our meeting at some point that he was going to have a meeting with. And there was a whole bunch of folks, handicapped children, all kinds of folks that we knew he was going to meet with. There was no reason for him to hide who he was meeting with. And it had nothing to do with their religious beliefs or non-religious beliefs. I think people are skeptical because this was the most watched Pope I think we've ever seen before. Nobody saw her or her representation, and she was able to slip up in there somehow.
Disguises, y'all. I want to know what disguise Kim Davis was in. That's my new thing. Can you even imagine?
I have so many things to say about that, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Was in the burqa? Like, what was Kim Davis dressed like?
So many things to say about that, but I don't want to get in trouble, girl.
No.
You know, they'll talk about it.
Not worth it, girl.
Not worth it. Talk about it anyway. But here's the other thing. Kanye West has yet to officially announce that he's running for president, but apparently Kim Kardashian says she already has plans to redo the whole White House.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. Look at that beautiful Armenian White House. I love it. I love it.
Are those his album covers?
Obviously, he has to have his album covers because they're actual paintings that I don't know if he created or he had other artists do. Personally, I think the View production team did a wonderful job. I think there would be more black there. And I think that there would be less stuff going on because, you know, Kanye likes very simplistic things. But can we talk about Kanye's cabinet, you guys? I figured out if Kanye was president,
Hello.
who his cabinet would be. Are you ready, Whoopi? Are you ready?
Yeah, bitch, you're right. Go ahead.
All right, Big Sean as vice president.
Love.
That's Eminem as chief of staff. Calvin Snoop Dogg Brodus as secretary of state.
What state?
All states, high and low.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, press secretary.
Okay.
And
Oh, my God.
Suge Knight, because this bumped in as secretary of Homeland Security.
That's hilarious.
Knight. I'm a part of that America.
Can you even imagine?
That's my kind of America.
Oh, my God. I love this story. So, well, the best part about it is that he wouldn't have to rename the West Wing. It's just like, boom, he's there. It's like,
There you go.
You know?
I like that.
We will be right back with more Hot Topics.
Next, think you regret posting something online? You will cringe when you hear one woman's sexy Snapchat fail and who she sent it to.
Welcome back. So a new mom boarded an early morning flight with her baby, and she began to panic when the child started to completely lose it. Then a stranger asked if she could help, and that stranger ended up rocking the baby to sleep for the entire flight. And the mom posted a big thank you to the lady. But let me ask you, is this a surprise that somebody would gently do something for someone else on the flight?
I think it's a welcome surprise.
It is a welcome surprise. I loved hearing the story. I've been that mom, having a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, pregnant with my 3rd, traveling on a plane by myself, and the stares and the dirty looks that you get from people as you walk down the aisle. And rarely did anyone ask to help me or can I put your bag up in the compartment?
That doesn't happen on the subway either. But
listen, but when you're a mom and you have a small child and you're so appreciative of those people that do offer help, but listen, nobody wants to hear a screaming baby on a plane.
Both ways,
but as a mom, there's so much pressure. You know, no one wants to hear your kid scream, but you can't do anything. You're trapped.
It could be both ways, though. I would love to help someone, but some mothers might get offended, be like, I could take care of my own baby. You don't have to ask me. I just feel that would come out at times.
You can and if they say no, then...
You know our society is very touchy right now. We oh, I can't believe you're offending me in any kind of way, because I've had the same issue where a mother could not take care of her baby in a play. She brought a newborn into The Lion King.
She could have laughed.
And she could have,
Did she hold it over the audience like this? That would be cute.
That would be adorable.
But see, that's different.
She didn't do anything. She sat there, and I really wanted to be like, get out. But unlike this woman, I would have held the baby for her.
Yeah, on a plane, there's nowhere to go. But 30,000 feet down, I've traveled. My kids are 8, 6, and 1. I have a photo of me. I had one strapped to my chest with a little ergo carrier, and the other two is traveling by myself. And let me just tell you, as uncomfortable as it is for you to hear that baby scream, it's much more uncomfortable. We feel so helpless. I've been in tears. If somebody would have offered, if you would offer to hold my baby, I would give him to you in a heartbeat.
My mama put cough syrup in her mouth. Just put a little touch of cough syrup.
I've given my kids Benadryl before.
There you go.
No, you know what?
I've given them Benadryl.
When I see a baby walk onto a plane, I know I have friends with kids who travel a lot. I know what they're going through. And honestly, I fly a lot. I haven't heard a screaming baby in a long time. Sometimes takeoff and landing, it's uncomfortable for them. But for the most part, America's babies are pretty well behaved. I gotta say, I'm not hearing, genuinely.
The times that I have flown, I've not seen anybody be crappy to a mother who had a crying baby, because everybody, if you have been a parent, you know what that's like.
It's
but
awful.
I also think that we should create, and I always say it, so I'll say it again, I think we should create an airline specifically for children and families.
I think so.
Because I feel like, because on my company plane, there would be a changing station. You wouldn't have to scrunch up into the bathroom, which is this wide. There would be milk areas where you could go and feed your baby if you needed to.
I think
there are things that there are benefits to having baby air.
Yeah.
I think it would not be a bad idea.
The meals would finally be the right size. That's nice.
Yes, everything will come in a bottle, but I don't know if you'd want that. But, the president of Planned Parenthood, Cecile Richards, sat down for a hearing yesterday with Congress, and some say some of the questions got out of line. Take a look.
Your compensation in 2009 was $353,000. Is that correct?
I don't have the figures with me, but I don't want to.
Congratulations.
I first would like to register my opposition and my objection to the chairman beating up on a woman on our witness today for making a good salary. I find it totally inappropriate and discriminatory.
I heard that was one of the first questions. That's ridiculous. No, but I heard that was one of the first questions even asked in the deposition at all, like one of the first ones. We're not talking about
I love Ms. Maloney.
Yeah.
Ms. Maloney should replace Boehner. I'm like, why is she sitting in that? They should put her in Congress.
I think the question was, too, if you look since the recession, CEOs of nonprofits have had their raises annually have been about 3%, and she received a 20% raise. And so that was in question. But not to say, like, her salary, though, is right in line with what salaries of nonprofits
But it doesn't matter.
make.
We're talking about Planned Parenthood and what they do and where the money should be. We're not talking about her and her salary. This is not Enron. But this is something else.
But they're also talking about federal funding, and they're saying if you have these massive income streams and she has a high revenue, why do you need all this federal
Let's go
funding?
look at their revenue, too. Let's go look where everybody
Whose
else's money
revenue?
is. Their paychecks and
Who's
everybody
there?
else. The guy that was talking to her.
Okay.
On the
Congressman?
on the congressman, yeah, him. They should look at his paychecks as well, and everybody else who has a whole bunch of money and we don't know where it goes.
But the point is,
tax money that is going into, 100%. And frankly, for what she has to do and deal with and for what she does for this country and for America's women, she's not getting paid enough. Honestly, this woman deserves every penny.
it's average. It's right on par. So nobody's saying she's getting paid too much.
They didn't need to ask that question. This was about, what are you doing with the money that you're getting? And so the implication of saying, you get this much in salary sort of makes it like you're taking our money and you're spending it, along with selling all the stuff we think you're selling. So I think she defended herself well. I think she comported herself well, and she's got her stuff, Here's what we do. Here's what it goes to. You don't have to like Planned Parenthood, but she has her business, and not all of it has to do with the issues that everybody's so freaked out about. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Verbal violence? What finally made Lena Dunham trash Twitter? Next.
So here's a cautionary tale about about using new technology. A woman used the app Snapchat.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
No, it's not hard to say. I just don't want to get into the same thing I got into with peanuts yesterday. Snapchat, to send a boob shot to her boyfriend with the caption, "What you're missing this weekend." But
So funny.
instead of sending it to her boyfriend, she sent it to her boss. And her boss sent a Snapchat back. His note read, "Hi, you probably did not mean to send this to me, but please be more careful. I am your boss."
Why are you following your boss on Snapchat? Why are you following your boss on Snapchat?
That's true.
Can I just say, 1 second, I do want to commend her for doing the right boob picture. You never put your face in a naked picture. You'll never get in trouble.
Yeah, it's just this. I want to know if she got a raise. I'm like, I mean, her boss, if anything, would be like, "You're right, I am missing that. An extra, a little pay bump."
Can I just say, I don't even know really how to Snapchat, how it
Who
works,
Snapchats
what it
here?
works.
I'm on
I just
Snapchat.
started.
You
just
Snapchat?
started.
I'm the only one that doesn't.
Okay.
It's
I
okay.
learned it
Can you
because
show
of
me?
my kids. I can show you. I learned it for them, except I realized that you can't monitor on Snapchat as a parent because you can just send private messages to whoever you want, and your kids can always make up other
On
accounts.
Instagram.
How do you feel about your kids having private accounts that you can't get into now that you can't spy on them anymore? How do you feel about that?
There's nothing I can do. I hope that I've taught them well enough. They do have public accounts that I do monitor, but if they want to make a hidden one, a secret one, there's nothing I can do. I hope that I've raised them, well enough that they're going to make good choices, but they're kids. They're going to make mistakes.
I like that it used to be like, "Mom, stay out of my room." Now it's like, "Stay off my Snapchat, Mom."
You know how many times my daughter has blocked me, and then someone will say, "Oh, did you see Natasha's Instagram or her tweet?" And it's public. There's nothing bad on there. But I'm like, "No, I didn't see it. Why have I missed these 5 posts?" And then I'm like, "Natasha, you better unblock me now." She does. When she gets mad at me, if I tell her no, she just blocks me, so I can't see it. It's hysterical.
That's really interesting. It's no slamming doors, like you said.
No.
It's like a
No, you
block.
Block me on
It's-
social media.
I love it.
Well,
Listen, if you want to see, I'm not on
It's
Snapchat, but
what
if you
we're
want to see
dealing
these
with
guys,
here.
follow me on Instagram, America, because I will release one or both, depending on how many followers I get. One or both.
How will you get them in one picture?
She got me.
You know, Girls Creator Lena Dunham just admitted that she no longer manages her Twitter account because after she posted a photo of herself in her boyfriend's underwear as a joke, the tweets were so mean and nasty she called it verbal violence.
she looks a little like a stud, but we'll pass that through.
Stud?
I'm not talking about it. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Those who caught it know. I mean, I'm not going to continue.
No.
I don't know, the minute you put yourself out there in somebody's underwear, you can't be surprised. We're living in I guess, in a society that does not think that that privacy is something that you should cherish. I don't need to see. I don't mind following you. I don't necessarily need to see you in your boyfriend's underwear.
That's like her thing. That's Lena Dunham's thing. She was joking. She's known for that.
But you can't be surprised if people are crabby because you know what's on Twitter. You know what's on Twitter.
You know it's on Twitter, but at the same time, people with Twitter need to keep their mouths respectful because they come hard at people. Disrespect.
Who you telling?
I know. We live it every day.
I've never been more verbally abused in my life than on Twitter.
Yes.
And specifically in the last few months, having come on this show, a lot of people don't agree with me. That's fine. Don't agree with me, but you don't have to verbally abuse me and rape me. That's what they do to me on Twitter.
And you know what stinks? It's blind courage, because I go to your Twitter page and all that you have is a little egg. I don't know where you live. I don't know anything about you. We're putting ourselves out there, subjecting ourselves to criticism. We can take it, but if you're going to dish it out, I want to see what you look like, and I want to know where you live.
Everybody gets it.
I mean, don't hide. Don't hide.
If Twitter is a way for everybody to get their 15 minutes or their 10 seconds or...
but it's not just Twitter. It's just what's in the society now. Right. It is in the society. Facts no longer mean anything. The facts don't count. The fact that we allow that, that's us. That's on us. We've done this. We've created this society where saying the things that are said to you or that are said to me and about your family. I mean, you don't like me, you can come at me. Don't come after my family. Don't come after my kids. But see, if you don't have any, if no one raised you well enough to know what a boundary is or how to fight a battle, you know, because you disagree. If no one's taught you how to do that, maybe you want to go on Wikipedia and look it up. Because there's a, you want to fight, we'll fight with you, but you don't have to attack us. See, that's what it is. But if you set yourself up, you know, don't go on and showing your body. You know, and she knows every time she shows her body, people leap all over her. Maybe it's kind of fun. Maybe it's not fun anymore for her because it's terrible.
It's not fun
you
anymore.
know. But you know what? We're having a good time. We're having a good time. You know, and I know y'all get nervous. I know you get nervous. Don't worry about it. It's never personal with us. We can disagree. We can have good times. It's okay. It's okay. She's fine. We will be right back with Republican presidential candidate Rick Santorum.
Think his Republican rivals are tough? Wait till presidential candidate Rick Santorum hits the table with the ladies of The View next.
Rick Santorum came out swinging this week against his fellow GOP rivals, the outgoing Speaker of the House, John Boehner, and the state of the Republican Party, and he's here to tell us what he plans to do about it. Please welcome Rick Santorum. Hey, man. So, Rick, you're one of the most conservative candidates in the race. You want to ban all abortions, defund Planned Parenthood, ban gay marriage, oppose same-sex unions. And yet you want to govern all the folks in the United States, or are you just governing from...
Well, my response to this is the people that have a different point of view, would you ask them the same question?
Yes, I ask everybody the same.
Well,
question. What do you?
But the point is, if someone has a different point of view, does that mean that they're only going to govern for people who would support all those things?
That's why I asked. That's why I asked.
The answer is no. Of course not.
Well, then so how will you say to your constituents who may be gay or may find themselves in a position with something like Planned Parenthood? What will you replace it with if you take it away?
Well, first off, I'm for reallocating every dollar that goes to Planned Parenthood and put them in women's health centers that actually provide more comprehensive services than Planned Parenthood does. Planned Parenthood, for example, doesn't provide mammograms. Now, I know people say they do, but they don't. In fact,
yeah, they do.
No, Cecile Richards yesterday at the hearing said, in fact, they do not. In fact, there are no Planned Parenthoods that provide any mammogram services. They basically provide abortion, contraception, STDs, things like and pregnancy tests. That's it. There are much more comprehensive women's health care centers. I spent a lot of time in Iowa, and in Iowa there's 213 women's health centers. 13 Planned Parenthood centers. So if you said we were going to take the Planned Parenthood money, reallocate it to actually clinics that do provide a whole host of other women's health services, women are probably going to get a more holistic health screening at those places than they would at Planned Parenthood.
So you're saying if you reallocate all of that money away from Planned Parenthood to these clinics, will those clinics then provide abortions, or where do you want these displaced women to go?
Yeah, well, there are obviously, Planned Parenthood is one abortion provider in the country. There are others that provide abortions. Some, it depends on the state. Some, there are very few abortion providers. Some, like in the state of New York, there's a lot of them. So that, again, the money that we're reallocating has nothing to do with abortion. I mean, I will accept that the money that is going to Planned Parenthood cannot be used for abortion. So when you reallocate that money away, it shouldn't affect their ability to provide abortions, unless, of course, they're commingling funds, and that's one of the questions that people have.
This is touchy. I want to ask a different kind of question.
Yes, ma'am.
Not speaking for, but being a part of the gay and transgender community, why can we not have equal marriage rights?
Yeah.
In your opinion?
Yeah. I would say this, that marriage has a particular role and purpose in society. It always has. And the whole purpose of marriage is to encourage, for society to encourage men and women to come together to form permanent bonds for the benefit of each other. And just like you would say, well, two women coming together, that benefits each other. But the greater purpose of marriage that society has always valued is to bring men and women together so when they have children, there's a permanent bond by which those children can be raised by their natural mother and natural father. And when you have a law that says, as the court said, that marriage has nothing to do with children anymore, then what you're going to have is you're not going to have a society encouraging the behavior that is in the best interest of children and the future of society.
I don't understand why you feel like people in the gay and transgender community can't raise a very beautiful, smart, intelligent child as well as a man and a woman, when sometimes, coming from a heterosexual family, there's a lot more fighting, there's a lot more stuff going on, and there's more, sometimes, not all the time, get that straight, not all the time. I don't understand why you feel like that community can't give and provide for that child just as well as a straight couple can.
Again, I'm not saying that a same-sex couple can't have, you know, a very positive and nurturing environment. But the natural mother and natural father of that child is what historically and I think sociologically look at today is in the best interest of that child to be raised by their natural mother and natural father. It's in the best interest of those parents to raise them.
I have a question for you.
And that's really what we want to encourage. We want to encourage that type of bond.
I want to ask you something. You ran for president back in 2012. You were fairly successful that time, not successful enough.
Pretty good.
But wait,
pretty good. 11 states.
Now you're at 1%. At what point do you decide to drop out of this and support someone else within your own party?
Yeah. You know, 4 years ago, I was at 1%. And in fact, 2 weeks before the Iowa caucuses, I was at 2% in the national polls. And what I found is that there was actually a recent poll taken by the Des Moines Register that said that less than 12% of the people in Iowa had made up their mind yet. So what you're seeing in these polls is basically who the media is paying attention to. That's who they end up supporting. But most people have not made up their mind yet. I found that out in Iowa 4 years ago. I was at 1% and 2%. I was getting that question continually up until about 3 weeks before the election. All of a sudden, people started to have to make their decision. They wanted to look at not just who was on the media, but who actually is going to be the best person to be the president, and that's why we rose to the top and we were able to win. And so I think that will and can happen again.
Even in this group, which there's what, like 14 out there?
Yeah, but I think as you've already seen two candidates drop out. One who 6 months ago, actually 2 months ago, most people thought was going to be the nominee, Scott Walker, and 2 months later, he's out of the race. Those are the kinds of things that can and will happen. 4 months is a lifetime in politics.
You are a devout Catholic, or an evangelical Catholic.
I call myself an evangelical
As you've
Catholic,
said, you've been married for 25 years. You have 7 children. And recently, your daughter, Bella, was blessed by the Pope.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you?
Well, that was a very special time. We had 4 tickets. We got 4 tickets for this event, the departure ceremony at the airport, and so Karen and 3 of our kids and Bella went up because Bella is held, so she doesn't need a seat. And we were blessed because we didn't have the front row seats, but 2 people saw our daughter there. Sorry, and they gave up their 2 seats so Bella could be at the Pope. And it was a great blessing. Yeah. I mean, to see him, he held her and he kissed her and blessed her. And Bella's a miracle. I mean, she has a disorder called trisomy 18, which is 1% of the kids who have this disorder live to a year. And she's 7.5, and so she's a miracle every day and a blessing to her.
Amen.
And she's a joy. She's a great kid. We love her to death.
She's got your heart. Fantastic.
Wow. Rick.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming back.
Thank you, Whoopi. It's good to be with you.
Come back. Come back again.
I appreciate it.
We say thank you, and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Judy Greer, and I will be up next on The View.
Actress Judy Greer as the best friend in romantic comedies like 13 Going on 30, The Wedding Planner, and so many other flicks. She also wrote a book called I Don't Know where you know me from. That's funny. This summer, she sizzled in the blockbuster Jurassic World, and now she's bringing the comedy and the tension back in the second season of her hit show, Married. Take a look.
Chrissy, this is my wife. Lena.
Yes, figured. Are you guys here for the gymnastics meet? Daughters in the Blues. Do a kid competing? No, actually, one of the judges. Anyway, it was nice to finally meet. Who is that?
We're gonna win a medal.
Please welcome Judy Greer. The outfit, yes, honey, yes.
Beyond.
Kind of my homage to Tootsie. I know that she didn't really dress in this exact outfit, but doesn't it feel kind of Tootsie?
You need like big glasses and a beautiful...
a wig.
I love you as an actress. All of your commercials, all of your roles, I love you. And I love that you're letting us say this. You just celebrated a birthday.
I did. I just turned 20, so... Times two.
Times two, and I heard people were trying to give you advice about it.
Oh, yeah. I got some really great advice, but everyone across the board was always like, it's great, your 40s are great because you just don't care anymore. And I was like, I like caring. Like, I wanna care. I don't, what do I not care about? Another piece of advice I got was that when you turn 40, you have to work out like an Olympic athlete to maintain anything size,
so, like,
height of terrible. Things, like, yeah, so.
You look great. You look absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I don't know what else you're supposed to look like, but that looks fabulous. I don't know.
My brain, like, ground to a halt when you said that, because it's like, are you saying if I'm not skinny by 40, I'm just, like, screwed? Well, I'm thinking about that now, but listen.
Okay, I'm so glad.
We have issues.
Hope I made you feel better.
Judy, I feel like $1,000,000. Now, your husband is Dean Johnson.
He is Dean Johnson.
The executive producer of one of my favorite shows, Real Time with Bill Maher. I love that show.
Yeah.
What was it like when you first met Bill?
Well, I met him they have like a little after party after each show on Friday night, and I met him in the green room after party, and Dean introduced me and said that I was an actress, and Bill was like, yeah, I think I've recognized you. It was like, so for a living you fly around and kiss other men, right?
Wow.
And started giving my husband corn about that. Like, so who are you kissing now? And I was about to go and do The Descendants with George Clooney. So
she kissed George Clooney.
I did, like twice, whatever. It wasn't that great. It was so great. I mean, all day long.
It's like your Facebook banner picture. You're like, honey, he meant nothing. Meanwhile, you have like stacks of photos. I love it. It's exciting.
So your show Married is in its second season. Is there any correlation between your real marriage and your marriage in the show?
Yes and no. It's a lot closer to the marriage of my co-star Nat Faxon and our showrunner Andrew Gerlin. They've both been married for 10 years and they have 3 young kids. And they are, I guess I shouldn't say miserably in love, but
sounds like a lot of marriages.
They're really happy and they're really in love. And I think that the characters on my show, Russ and Lena, really exemplify that, like that feeling of like, we're best friends and we're in this together, but can you get out of my face right now? Like, can you leave the room? Can you?
Personal space.
Yeah.
It's a hysterical show. FX is doing such great stuff.
It's, they really are.
Amazing. Honestly, congratulations.
Thank you.
And you're also in a hilarious dark comedy called Addicted to Fresno with 2 of my favorite actors, other than you, Natasha Lyonne and Fred Armisen.
Yes, I love her.
And Fred Armisen is like, I mean, I'm obsessed with him.
I know.
How do you like get through? I mean, for real.
Yeah.
How do you get through a scene without breaking?
You don't. You don't at all. You just know that it's gonna happen, and you're gonna laugh, and you're gonna have to hear cut. Or like I think Jamie Babbitt, our director, she was like, you guys need to get yourselves together, like pull it together. Especially on a low-budget movie, you don't have a lot of time.
Right.
So
I'm definitely going to be watching that. You have some amazing actresses and actresses. Thank you so much for coming today. You're amazing. Our thanks to Judy Greer. Addicted to Fresno is on iTunes and on demand and in select theaters Friday. Back-to-back episodes of the season finale of Married air tomorrow on FX. Check your local listings. We'll be right back.
The View would like to thank Apple and Eve for providing our entire studio audience with a bottle of their 100% pure juice.
everyone know I saw a wonderful play last night with Lupita, and it's called Eclipsed. Yes, that's, I don't want to mess
Nyong'o, yes.
Yes, it's wonderful. Please Google it. Please see it. It's in its previews right now. It's spectacular. It's about Africa. Go see.
All right.
Public theater. It's at the Public Theater.
And as always, we want to thank you for coming and hanging out with us. You make us better. You make us do a better job than we would be doing if we were just sitting by ourselves. So we want you to have a great day and take a little time to enjoy whatever view you happen upon.